Do you remember that time that back in 2016 when someone bet on Leicester to win the league?
Bro, over 3,000 plus odds.
Do you wish it was you?
No, I don't think I could. I don't think I would have.
You don't think you'd have thought to do that because
such a wild.
That was actually wild, to be honest. And then someone else bet on Liverpool to win the league long before they were like ready to do it. So I mean, that introduces.
I like to believe that guy maybe he did some time travel or something. It's not normal. You cannot wake up and just back Leicester City. It's not normal.
But again, it didn't drop much money on that. It was just throw away money. Like, oh, let me just have some fun. And then that happened and it came through. And it's like really crazy. And we've seen a lot of things like that. Like in the end, it's called futures betting, right? Yeah. You're betting on something that will happen in the future. But how does futures betting work?
Yeah, just like the name implies, it means like just betting on something you expect to happen, the outcome, the future outcome, but you're betting on it way ahead. So yeah, for instance, with the Premier League coming, you know Manchester City are always the favorites. They're favorites to win their 5th title in a row again. So you can choose to say my future betting for the Premier League is Manchester City to win the league. Although for that kind of bet, I don't think the odds will be that exciting because I mean it's City.
The strategy that I would like to use for something like that is I'll look at a trend, basically from research and observing the numbers and trends. Like, okay, it looks like Man City will not win the league this coming season because look, they are losing KDB, they are losing Ederson. Arsenal have been on the rise. Their points have gone from 84 or so to 89. Maybe next season they'll do 90 something.
Teta said his aiming yesterday. He said Arsenal aiming for 114 all games. That was what he said.
So things like that. You now look at it like, but what's your own strategy though? For futures betting, how do you decide on the teams, especially considering the odds for the obvious favorites are always very little compared to?
There are two ways to go about futures betting. Like you said, in a league like Premier League, it's quite straightforward. But when you go to a league like your league, League One, so you see some potential there in the sense that you look at a time like now where there's no Kylian Mbappe anymore.
Yeah.
PSG are still termed favorites, but when you look at it, even the way last season went, you will know that PSG they will have to fight in quotes to win. It won't be a walk in the park.
To be fair, since like 6 months ago, I've actually been saying that if or when Mbappe leaves PSG, the very first season after he leaves PSG, that they're not going to win the league.
Exactly.
I've been saying it. Quote me anyway, I said it. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're still favorites,
Yeah.
But so I think the problem then is if PSG don't win the league, to now predict the team that would win it, that's where it gets tricky because we see how Ligue 1 is sometimes Lille are on top. It's not like they have a standard second best team that can take advantage. Like in England, we know that it's Arsenal. That's not the second best team in the land. So if City slip up, they're most likely. So how do you navigate that kind of? Or are there other options that you look at?
Well, there are other options you look at. You look at different teams. You look at their transfer business. You look like the team that looks like they want to invest. You see some teams, you just know that this period they are going through a transition period. They are going to do lots of sales. Look at Liverpool. If I want to do a future betting, I will boldly say Liverpool to not make top 4. They are in a transition period post Klopp.
Yeah,
Slot is going to have to. I think maybe we'll use this first season to regroup. Know his best strategy and whatnot. Salah is not really the Salah we used to know anymore.
Nobody's talking about him.
Nobody's even talking about him anymore. Salah.
People were saying, they tried to get him
to Saudi. I think he'll remain. I think he'll remain one more season
because there's been no real.
There's no real stuff about it. And Darwin Núñez will always be Núñez, of course.
It looks like it's cooking.
It will always be that. It will always be Núñez, of course. So I think rather than, for me, my own strategy is to pick out those anomalies.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland will win the Golden Boot, maybe, but who is the next best player that can challenge him? Maybe.
But do many bookmakers offer these other options? Of course, second top scorer.
Yeah, not many bookmakers offer it, but you can visit bettingexpert.com to get a list of detailed bookmakers and the different options they offer. A number of bookmakers offer this option.
So going into this coming season, if you were going to pick out 5 options for your futures betting, which ones would you go for?
Liverpool to not make top 4. Liverpool to not make top 4.
You don't believe in any slot?
I don't believe in him yet. Liverpool to not make top 4.
Mbappe is winning golden boots.
Ivan Toney to be in the top 3 goal scorers.
Is he going to remain at Brentford?
Yeah, I think he'll remain in the Premier League.
Oh, in Premier League.
Anywhere he leaves, I think he's going to move to the Premier League side.
Okay.
So I think he's going to remain in the Premier League. So I'll back Ivan Toney to, be in the top 3. Then I don't know what the future holds for KDB. I don't know if he stays, if he leaves. But if he leaves, I would back
Arsenal to in the Premier League.
No. I will back Odegaard to have the most assists.
But he wasn't the one with the most assists.
No, next season. Cook. Just watch out, he will cook.
But we don't even know the striker that Arsenal are going to sign.
Just wait. It's under consideration.
Okay.
Then I will still back David Raya once again to win the Golden Glove.
Golden Glove, yeah.
Because of the defense he has in front of him.
Yeah.
And relegation battle. Wait, Wolves just signed Kilman, yeah?
Wolves? Or they just sold him?
They sold Kilman.
Yeah.
Wolves.
It's relegated.
Wolves to be relegated.
I'll hold you to that. So I will
Wolves
remember
to be relegated.
Yeah. For me, it's very, very, very straightforward for me.
Don't say City to me.
We're trying to not pick the obvious options, so exactly. I'm not going to. Yeah, but I think that now that Mbappe has left France, and we know that the odds, the bookmakers pick the odds based on what has happened already and trends and all. So some of the odds might be very interesting to check out. Who is going to win the Golden Boots in France? Mbappe won 5 in a row, and now for the first time since Cavani, we're going to have another winner of the Golden Boot that is not named Mbappe. So I'm probably going to go, if Jonathan David remains in France, it's either I go with him or Lacazette, although Lacazette seems to be leaving as well. Yeah. Or Aubameyang, perhaps. So I'm saying maybe Oba, or because this is the second season now, it's more settled and everything. It's somewhere between Aubameyang and David.
Osimhen might go to PSG.
Now, that's the thing. So if Osimhen goes ahead, then it will be a PSG player I would go for. But as I'm looking at it, I probably would go Jonathan David if he remains. But we heard at Chelsea. Chelsea wants to.
I think if you another future too, you can also bet on Chelsea to sign a Brazilian player because it will always happen. But speaking about future strategy, we just said now that Osimhen could go to PSG, and which brings us to one of the strategies of future betting, in the fact that you need to be very watchful about the time you place your bet, because if you were to place a bet right now as we are on City to win the Premier League, and then in the next couple of weeks they go on to sell De Bruyne, they go on to sell Ederson, they lose 1 or 2 more key players,
then you start
and maybe at the start of the season some players are not returning early because of the Euros and whatnot, and then it's looking like you have to wait a bit. So best preferred strategy is to wait a few weeks into the season to see the pattern or to see the trend, and although it might not follow because City are even slow starters to start with, they don't start the season strongly.
They typically don't start.
But then if they lose like 4 key players, I don't see how they will do it. If they lose, forget Guardiola magic here. If they lose 4 key players, I just don't see how they will do it.
But do you think it's safer to bet on like league games, or to bet on cup games, like cup tournaments, like UEFA Cup, Europa League rather, Champions League, and all that? Which do you think is safer?
It would always be safer to bet on cup tournaments, because in betting, the lesser the picks, the better your chances. And in this case, the lesser the number of games, the more you can make an informed decision. A league is a 38 game. Anything can happen from August to another May. But Champions League, they have although the Champions League is taking a new format now, and it's going to change a lot of things. So for now, I will advise you avoid anything Champions League for now. Based on the new format, nobody knows how it's going to go. Nobody knows what it will be like. So avoid the Champions League for now. But looking at the maybe the FA Cup, for instance, that's little games compared to the Premier League. I think it's always
Man United have made 2 finals in a row. 1-1. So, and Ten Hag is still around. It's an FA Cup merchant. He's a cup merchant. Won Carabao the season before. So, you can reasonably expect Man United to get deep in that competition. Barcelona usually do well in Copa del Rey, as do Athletic Club.
Yeah.
In France, PSG always win the cup. Until like Messi was there, and then after he left, they went back to winning the cup. So those ones seem more far easier to predict than league campaigns. So how about the handicap?
Yeah, the handicap one also makes sense because I think we've already discussed something already. It's simply betting against the favorite, and it's Premier League is the best example. You know that City, for instance, they are the best price side to win the league. So which side is the next best team? Judging by recent trend, they look like Arsenal. Arsenal don't look like they're letting back. They look like they want to strengthen further. So you can choose to say Arsenal to win the league without City. Or you can choose to say Lille to win the league without PSG or something.
Yeah, I like that one. No, that's what I'll actually go for.
Maybe Barca to win the league without Real Madrid. They ought to be small.
Valencia to win the league without Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid.
No, that's no longer future. That's not future again. That's something else. But anyways, there are some specific future betting strategies that you need to consider, and I'll just summarize them briefly. So the first one is that future betting odds are released before the start of the season, so it is very important to make your research and know which one to go with. You can visit bettingexpert.com, like we said, to know the bookmakers that offer which particular future betting strategy you are looking out for. Then the safer option, like we said, the safer option on the future betting is to wait until the first few weeks of the season so that you can have an informed decision based on how the teams are performing, what their targets are like for the season. Some teams will go in and say our aim is just to remain in the Premier League. Like, we are not planning to compete, we just want to remain. So you can't look at that kind of team and put anything reasonable on that kind of team. So you need to wait,
set yourself up,
see their targets, see how they are performing, and make a better informed decision. And just like we said, betting on tournaments are usually a more safer option than the league because there are less games and better chances. But like we earlier said, please avoid the Champions League 2024 to 2025 season because it is taking a new format and nobody really knows what to expect. And just like we've also said, explore handicaps in future betting because away from the favorites where you might not really get much value, handicaps can give you more value because there's less predictability with the handicaps. And then just to buttress everything we've said, don't stick to winners only. Explore many options. There's golden boot option, there's top assist option, there's even player to be carded the most in a season. There's an option for a team to receive the most cards.
Getafe, Spain. Don't
there's an option for that. When you see a team that like to overly press all those, Wolves, Brentford, all those kind of guys, you know that West Ham, you know that okay, these guys they will get lots of cards and all. Just explore various options, and to refer to the number one point, visit bettingexpert.com to once again check through bookmakers and the various future strategies they have. And if you follow all the strategies that we've put, you have a better chance of making bank from your future bets. And that's all we have in our time for this video. And just give us one future bet on Nigeria before we end this.
On Nigeria?
Yeah. One future bet. Nigeria to win the World Cup or something, or to win the AFCON.
Nigeria to win AFCON 2025 if we qualify.
Okay, Nigeria to win AFCON 2025 if we qualify. Okay, we'll see how that turns out to be. And alright guys, that's all we have for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share our content on all social media platforms showing right there on your screen. Join our conversation below. Tell us your thoughts and which future betting strategies you would employ ahead of the new season.
Ciao.